This is my Introduction to Ayurvedic Fundamentals, Class 3. We talked already about the 5 elements, the 3 doshas, and here I'd like to talk about the 6 tastes. This is a very brief overview. You can go to my website, lauraplum.com, or you can go and look for my book, which is Ayurveda Cooking for Beginners, and you'll get a lot more detail. Or you can come take one of my courses or my trainings. Ayurveda is a complex science, and it is a science that meets each individual right where you are. And that means if there's 7 billion plus people on the planet, then there's 7 billion plus protocols for restoring health and wellness. Ayurveda also believes that health is more than just the absence of disease. Health is really about coming fully alive so that you have joy, you have creativity, you have strength and comfort in your body, so that you're optimally digesting and that you're living your life with a sense of purpose, a life that feels meaningful, where your relationships are healthy and supportive, and you just feel good in your body and in all areas of your life. This is what Ayurveda seeks to support. So, as we look in this class at the 6 tastes, we're talking about all the food that is available to humans, that is nutritious for us. Ayurveda sees that all the variety of food falls into 6 categories. And those 6 categories are sweet, salty, sour, pungent, astringent, and bitter. Sweet taste foods are grains, root vegetables, meat, dairy, nuts, and fruit. So it's the majority really of what we eat. If you look at a plate, the majority of the plate will be of the sweet taste. Sweet taste is tonifying, building, strengthening. It strengthens the body, the muscle, the tissue, but also the immune system. It's also grounding for the mind, and it brings a sense of contentment. Salty taste is, of course, seaweed or foods that come from the sea and have that salt, or sea deposits, as in pink salts, mineral salts, sea salts. So salty taste is exactly what it says. It's salt. And that is probably the least of what we're going to have on our plate. It's just there to help to season. And then we have the sour taste. Sour is pretty much anything acidic. So it's lemons and citrus. It's vinegars and everything fermented, including alcohol, kimchi, yogurt, etc. And sour helps with digestion. It is a digestive aid. Then we have the pungent taste. Pungent is all of our spices. It's onions, it's garlics, it's shallots, it's ginger, it's turmeric, cinnamon, cardamom, fennel, mint, basil, oregano, black pepper. That's the pungent taste. It's basically spicy and spices. The pungent taste helps also with digestion, and salty, sour, pungent add flavor to food. And it adds a kind of flavor that helps attract us to the meal while also helping us to digest that meal. So, salty, sour, pungent are the least of what we're going to have in terms of size or portions, but they are what's really going to help us digest the rest of the meal. Then we have astringent, and astringent is things like legumes or seeds or the skin of foods, like the skin of an apple or the skin of the carrot. Also, tea. A lot of leaves have astringency to them, and tea is something that is very astringent, whether it's black tea or green tea. Astringent is somewhat drying, so it helps us if we have excess water, excess mucus. It helps to dry and tone. It also acts like little scrub brushes, cleansing the body. And I like to think of astringent as relating very much to our fiber. It's the strong fiber in our food, so it also helps with elimination. Finally, the 6th taste is bitter. Bitter is leafy greens. Bitter is radicchio is a great example. Aloe is bitter. Dark chocolate, cacao. Before you add milk, dairy, or sugar, cacao in and of itself can be very bitter. Coffee has bitter. It's also pungent as well. Turmeric is pungent, astringent, and bitter. So many of these tastes combine in different ingredients and foods. But bitter is very purifying. Bitter lightens us up. Grapefruit, which is a citrus, and so therefore sour, also has a secondary bitter taste. That's why it can be good for people when they're seeking to lose a little excess weight. So you can think about your sweet, your salty, your sour, your pungent, your astringent, and bitter. And how do we get all 6 tastes at a meal or at least throughout the day? The other thing that is bitter is the peel of citrus. So let's say you're having a meal and it's going to be a vegetable stew. You could add rice and that'll be your sweet taste. Or you could add root vegetables and that's your sweet taste. You could add legumes, mung bean or navy beans, something like that, lentils, and that's your astringent taste. If you added leafy greens, spinach or kale, then you've got your bitter taste. You could also add, as you serve it, you could just grate a little bit of lemon peel or lime or orange peel over the top. That'll give you that bitter. You could add in a squeeze of lemon to get your sour, a little bit of pink salt to get your salty, and then you might cook it with cinnamon. I love cinnamon with savories. Or you might cook it with ginger or some black pepper. And now you have all six tastes in a one pot meal. So that's just an example of how we can get all six tastes. When we have all six tastes, we're feeding all five elements in the body. Why is that? The sweet taste combines the elements of water and earth. So you're feeding the water and earth elements in you. The salty taste, that's water and fire. The sour taste is fire and earth. The pungent is fire and air. So those three, again, salty, sour, pungent, all have fire in them, and they help to kindle or boost your digestive fire. That's why they're such important digestive aids. And what I love so much about it is that we are designed to find that flavorful. Those three tastes add flavor to a meal while they're helping boost our digestion. All right, it's really quite beautiful. So you can add some lemon. You could add a little bit of balsamic vinegar, right? Then you can add a little less of the salt because you're going to get the flavor from the sour. And also, when you add a little bit more spice, careful of not too much spice. You don't want to overwhelm the system unless you're kapha, which you can refer to the earlier videos for that. Kapha can use more fire, so they can add more spice. Pitta is already fire, so they want to watch how much fire they add to their meals. And Vata can add some fire because they need the warmth. They need a little help with digestion. They want to be careful. It's not too spicy, too heating. So they want to stick to what we call the sweet spices: cinnamon, cardamom, ginger, nutmeg, and even some clove. Fennel, coriander, mint are also balancing and neutral. And then basil is an excellent herb for Vata dosha. So just to continue on, we've talked about sweet as water and earth, salty as water and fire, sour as fire and earth, pungent as fire and air, and astringent is air and earth. So very drying, a little bit rough, definitely cleansing. It's going to scrub the inner tissues. And then finally, bitter is space and air, right? So it lightens, purifies, even gives a greater sense of expansion within. So what I'd like to ask you now, as you learned about the six tastes, is to think about what are your favorite meals and how might you optimize your meals to make them better for you in terms of digestion and in terms of nutritional quality. What is your favorite taste? And which taste would balance you in terms of your five elements, your three doshas? Also, which tastes would balance the season that you're in right now? It's beautiful to think about it. You might make some notes. I love to think about Ayurveda as an intuitive science. This is wisdom that's already within you. So I love to think about people not necessarily having to take lists with them to the market, but actually just paying attention to what your body is asking for. So, with this little bit of knowledge, I hope it empowers you to listen to your intuition and to trust your own taste, because your taste is an instrument of knowing and of wisdom. And so I hope Ayurveda will help you cultivate a more sacred and sumptuous life, trusting the wisdom you have within. Thank you.